See what it is, yeah, like there's a lack of people in our communities or in the entertainment industry that have a voice of value. And I mean on any level, bro. On all levels, bro. Females, you can vouch for this, yeah? It is difficult to find a partner that has a voice of value on many levels. Very difficult. There's only a few of us out here, baby. There's only a few of us out here. No, but it's factual, bro. There's only a few of us out here. Like my missus would tell you that. There's only a few people that is out here where, you know, if a whole bunch of bad youths are in the room, yeah, who is going to be able to silence that? Yeah? Or is the person who we're looking up to a voice of value going to trigger it? Because there's two things that person can do when they're in that room. You could either trigger the worst to happen, or you could just calm everything down. Yeah? There's not a lot of people that can do that in most environments. And then when we look at life, because it then comes to a point with, if we want these youth, or we want better music, or we want, you know, or we want to see more substance in the people who we're supporting, then we have to then, when we approach these people or we're around these people, or the advice we're giving them, we should be giving them progressive advice instead of just saying yay and laughing at whatever entertaining they put out there. You understand what I'm saying? There should be key people, and in other words, they should be asking those questions too. What does it take for me to continue to move forward? Because, bro, like we can't do this alone, bro. If there's only 10 of us in this business, we won't be able to do this alone. When it was only 5 crews or 5 people getting signed by labels back then, it wasn't loud enough for the situation not to stop. So we could be stopped. You get me? Now, it's difficult for you to stop an artist. Whether you stop him on shows, he's still active. You know, when you was blocked of doing music, you couldn't release music. You couldn't send your tune to certain stations and it would be played. You know what I mean? You couldn't send your new music to certain stations and it would be played. So that's just boiled down to it. We need people with a voice of value. You need people around you where they can advise you in so many different parts of your life and you can see the results from it. Because there's some people that are real cool people to hang with. Very nice, very pleasant. They will always, you know, they will never have anything bad to say about you. But they're not really great at helping you out or giving you advice or being able to tick all the boxes that you need, majority of the boxes that you need, you know? So like I say, it's very difficult to find somebody that hears your story and can say, look, do that, do this, do that, consume that, exercise at this time and do that. If you want to be successful, if you want to execute your plan, if you want to execute your vision and your business, if you want to be alive and well enough to see it through to the end of that 25, 30, 40 years, whatever it is, if you want to be able to remember how to manage that business over a 20-year period and be able to then go in and get all your paperwork done so that your family's family have wealth and your family's families have wills and you have life insurance and you have all these things to fall back on. It's a frame of mind that you need to adopt, as well as a habit that you need to adopt to be able to execute those things at the right time. What will happen that if you don't do it, you're going to end up like most of what our parents done. Most of our parents had properties, didn't get to do their wills. You know what I mean? Most of our parents had businesses, yeah? But some of them got sick before their time and weren't able to get paperwork and certain things done. So now we have to look back into our own circle of people and be like, well, if my grandmother died early and she was 70 something, what did she die of? Okay, I have to stop doing that. If you appreciate the mission that your parents and your family have set, and you feel that you want to continue that, whether it's for yourself or for your family, then you have to make sure that whatever problems or whatever telltale signs you saw for slowing down, for stagnating your progress, you have to eradicate that. Even if the person thought they was giving you the most valuable information ever. You know what I mean? In this day and age, there's a lot of things that's losing its hold. You get me? On peace and love and companionship and progressiveness, and religion is losing that. And we need to bring, like, whether religion is losing it in a small way or in a big way, society, these new kids are growing up, and they're not growing up as believing in the things that we believe in. They're not growing up attracted to the cultural foods that our parents died too early eating. You understand what I'm saying? So then it's a whole structure. And when you get somebody that comes around you and speaks to you and shows you how to set up everything that you dreamed of and give you certain recipes within that one formula, yeah, to be successful or get what you get, yeah, listen to that person, bro. Because there's very few of them.
I feel sometimes people, like I got a few friends. I'm gonna say associates, them not called friends. I got some associates and they will tell you a problem. And you know, sometimes, I don't know how it is for you. Yeah. Someone may say it's a problem, and instinctively I'm like, yo, here's the solution. Yeah. What happens? It becomes an argument. I've given you the answer, and then you're giving me every answer why the answer to succeed.
Some people like the problems. Some people like the problems and some people like the solutions. You have to eradicate the people that just like to speak about the problems and not the solutions, you know. I've got a problem in being forward with a high level of common sense in certain areas. I wouldn't say in everything. So we could be holding a conversation and someone comes up with a problem, but I would have been like, you didn't even have to mention that because you had the solution before you said it. You telling people your problems is you indirectly saying to yourself, you haven't been able to solve it in your own self, within your own mind. So now you want to tell somebody because indirectly you want assistance. Not a lot of people would admit that, but any problems that I have, the only time I reach out to people for assistance is when I can't solve it properly. If my mind ain't intelligent enough to get that solved within the period of time I need it done. So yeah, that's what we need to do. A lot of people, look, we're growing up in the times where our grandparents and older people of our cultural backgrounds are not as stern as we are. No, people of our cultural backgrounds are more stern than we are when it comes to dealing with people within their own race. All the grandparents that grew up on the white side of their families and all the Asian parents that grew up, you know, with the Asian side of their families and all the elders of those families, when they were growing up, it was hard for them. So it was very focused about dealing with your own race.
Yeah.
You get dealing with your own race. Now what's happened is that their kids' are not thinking the same. We all mix and mingle. We all dress the same. Sometimes you wouldn't even tell what culture we're from.
True, yeah.
Because we're all dressed the same. So what happens when those companies are handed down to them? What happens when wills are handed down to them? The cycle of keeping it within your race is changed. Because you've been interracial for... We've got a more interracial society than we did previously in our parents' times, you know, and the points and views that we share are more universal across all cultures than it is just our own. So when we look at us as individuals, we're not seeing different people. We're seeing the same sort of people, we're in the same sort of designers, but just different complexion. You know what I mean? And now we're looking at people for their compassion and for their positiveness or whatever constructiveness they can do. So time's changing. So right now we all need to be in that frame of mind where everything has a knock-on effect. I'm not going to tell people how to eat. I'm not going to tell people how to move, how to think, or what to do. The proof is in the pudding of all of those who are actually doing those things. Yeah? You don't want to become vegan, you don't want to stop eating meat, cool. But watch the lives of the people who have stopped eating it. Yeah, you don't want to be disciplined and create good habits. Watch the life of the people that create good habits. You know, there's a lot of people that think they want to be rich and millionaires. Their habits are far-fetched from that. You go to their house and the way they manage their little house is not in a way that if they had a mansion tomorrow, they would know how to clean and tidy it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Did you go in a lot of people's house, the cleanest part of their yard is mostly a plate that's been washed on the rack. You know what I mean? When you go to people who are progressive, from their toilets to their fridge to everything has its order, has its place, all of its cleanness, so you can understand the frame of mind of that person. That person has order, and that those habits don't only transcend in business, it transcends right down to the home, right down to what they do, how they manage their vehicle, how they manage their life. So these are the things that we admire. So no one needs to be forced. I don't need to be I don't need to pretend that, oh, I'm better than anybody else, or that, oh, now I'm vegan, everybody needs to be vegan, or there's certain knowledge that I obtained which, well, you lot, everyone's meant to be on this. What do you mean? This is the way forward. Religion's long. Like, who am I to even get, you know, premature information, knowledge that is new to me? The knowledge is not even older than, you know, the hair on my head, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't cut my hair that regular, blood. You understand what I'm saying? So this could have been growing for almost, you know, half a year already. But there's some knowledge that we obtain over a period of time, and we see people with their tannoys and their loudspeakers on everywhere, preaching about it. You know what I mean? In a way where it makes you feel like if you're not doing what they're doing, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? But bruv, who are we to get premature information and just fling it out there like this is what we've lived by from scratch? We still need that certain period of time to wean out all the bad habits and wean out all that bad frame of mind. So look at Russell Simmons. Look at all these people like Gary Vee. Listen to all these people. Listen to your Eric Thomases. Listen to Robert T. Kiyosaki. Go online and listen to some motivational people like Earl Nightingale. Listen to Jim Rohn. Listen to Robert Greene. Go and buy these guys' books. Go and...
Robert Greene's a G. You know, I've interviewed him, bro. He's a G.
Go and buy these guys' information. And if you don't want to buy it, when you're in your house or when you're in your car, don't just listen to music. We have 24 hours in a day. Every day we have 24 hours in a day. People say they want to sleep 8 hours a day. I don't believe in sleeping 8 hours a day. I don't believe in taking 16 hours every day of your life to do everything that you need to do. Because at least half of that time is spent in cleaning, washing and eating your food. You know what I mean? So we need to make the most of that 24 hours. So when you are, if you're a musician and you're a rapper and you feel like you need more information to structure your career and structure your life, instead of listening to what the next rapper's song is or listening to what the next rapper's interview is, go and listen to the people who those next rappers want to get a paycheck from. Go and listen to motivational speakers that will get you back on your path, that will get you back into the ordering of things in where you need to progress. I ain't got time to listen to music 24/7, but when I do come online and I see a bonkers spitting bars, I'm like, I can't wait to hear your album, bro. When I see Krypton Conan, you know, doing silly little jokes, freestyle jokes, I was like, I can't wait to hear more music. Because a lot of people, a lot of those individuals, they love music. You know what I mean? And somebody has to do it. Somebody has to release music. Someone has to keep that show going. Not everybody ain't going to be able to get into business and run companies. You know what I mean? There is no one that can sit down right now and tell me this is the best hustle. There is no one thing which is the best hustle. People, then you would say cheats and fees and another clothing line. Is the clothing game the best hustle? It depends what level of the clothing game you've come into the game as.
Yeah, true.
It depends what sector you lie in. Are you a wholesaler or are you doing quality stuff straight to your website? What are you? What game are you in? Are you on sale and return, or is everything up front? Are you just channeling things to your website or not? At the end of the day, how long do you want to do it for? How big do you want to get? Do you want to get so big where the deals that you get now, you don't have much control of your brand? You don't have control of, your website, or you don't have control of certain things because you've allowed a company to, or a factory to take over a certain percentage of your business, as to where now the factory is telling you when you're going to get your goods. You can't even demand a time. You understand what I'm saying? So even in the clothing sector, there's still no one way to make a killing. There's many different ways, but you have to find what suits your idea, your brand and your idea. Like I say, most of these clothing lines, 25 years old, 20 years old. We've been 5 years plus in the business. We've got a long way to go still. And we're taking our time because, like we say, the bigger you get, the less control you will have of your company. Then you've got factories and distributors and people taking charge of certain parts of your business, which you don't even know. You don't even know how much is being sold or how much stock has gone lost or gone missing. You get me? Or when payments are meant to come in, because it's so big now, it's hard to handle. So it's good for anybody to take their time. If they love what they do, take your time and build it slowly. And another thing is very difficult to build a team of trust. Especially when it comes to people dealing with your paperwork, whether it's an accountant, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's those consultancy people. You have to take your time. So for Cheats and Fees, we're a young company. We like the affiliates that we're with. We like exactly what we're doing, and we don't feel we need to excel any quicker until the time meets itself. You know what I mean? My business partner, I've understood, I've learned a lot from seeing mistakes and seeing the benefits. And same with me, from seeing my mistakes and benefits. He's most probably seen and learned a lot. So within the time of us growing brands, take your time with it, bros. Everybody take your time with it. You get me? The same thing like what the little guy is telling you. Most people have gone and done bigger deals because they've been offered bigger money. So now they're not independently releasing stuff via these platforms. So over a period of time now, it's like you're in a contract. There's a time scale. We need to make money back at this certain time. Now you've traded your comfort zone for a time scale. Regardless whether the product is hottest or the product is not, you have to release within this space of time. We need an album every year, basically, you know what I mean?